It's one thing to put yourself in somebody else's shoes, it's another thing to think inside somebody else's brain, especially when that brain is mentally ill or is going through brain health decline. So if you want to imagine what it's like to think like somebody else, read these books. Mirror Me is one of my favorite books to recommend. This book follows a character who's living with dissociative identity disorder, and we also get the point of view of his alter. It shows you what it's like to feel like you're being pushed outside of your body and something or someone else is taking over. This one is specifically about dissociative identity disorder, but some of the things that are described in here could apply to different mood disorders or even psychosis. The FMC in score has bipolar disorder, specifically bipolar 1. There's also another character in the book who has bipolar 2, so you can see the distinction. This is a romance novel, so it's already intimate, but the greatest intimacy of a story like this is allowing you to see within the mind of somebody who's going through an episode, because what it may look like to the outside world could be completely different within their mind. The Minds of Billy Milligan is a non-fiction book. If you ever watched the series The Crowded Room starring Tom Holland, highly recommend it by the way, then that is based on this true case. Billy was the first person to use multiple personality disorder as an insanity defense. He committed some very serious, heinous crimes, but he also had 24 personalities, so he wasn't completely in control of his mind at any time. In Memory of Us follows a woman in her 70s who's living with the early stages of dementia. She is a twin, and she's trying to remember where her twin is and things that have happened in her journey, but you also see mental illness running all throughout this story, even in different members of the family. This book made me realize how similar dementia and psychosis could feel to experience, because there were so many things that she was going through that I remember feeling like I went through, which made me feel even closer to my grandmother, who's now passed away, who had dementia, because our brains went through a very similar thing. And The Devil You Know is a non-fiction book that follows a psychiatrist and psychotherapist who works with violent offenders. When somebody commits a violent crime, it's so easy to label them as a monster and say that they were born evil, but what if they were shaped by their circumstances? This book allows you to imagine that by going into cases of different violent offenders as they are working with their psychotherapist to understand what shaped them. Let me know if you're going to read any of these books, and if you do, please come back to this video and let me know what you think.